Today on Cryptic Mask Guitar, for fun, we do a comparison between the Epiphone Les Paul Custom and my Gibson Les Paul Custom Showcase from 1988. Now I say for fun because the specs on this guitar, and especially the pickups and such, are a little different than what you normally get. And of course it's from 1988, so, you know, it's an older one. And we'll go ahead and quickly address the elephant in the room here. I know the comments are going to be, there's usually 3 for Epiphone versus Gibson. It's usually, Epiphone's way better than Gibson, Gibson sucks, it's stupid to spend more money. The next one is the opposite. Gibson's way better than Epiphone. Epiphone's all Chinese. They're custom shops in China. I like spending more money. And then the third one is the goof basket that's in the back going, they all suck. And I also want to quickly say YouTube videos are fantastic for different comparisons and, you know, being able to see and hear different guitars. But don't forget the most important part of the equation here, which is not sound, surprisingly. It's feel. How a guitar feels in your hands, how you bond with it, all of those different things you can't really experience on YouTube. So make sure that you actually go and play these guitars to make that decision. Don't blindly buy your guitar and expect everything to be perfect. Make sure that that guitar works for you. Play every guitar in the store. Make them let you play the super expensive ones. And that's really how you should decide what guitar you're going to buy. But I do have 5 sound samples for you today. First of which is going to start off with a clean sound sample that shows the bridge, middle, and neck position. And then we go all the way up to, because it's this channel, full on metal. Now that we've heard the 5 sound samples, let's talk about the differences and similarities. So I do want to start off by saying Epiphone did a fantastic job in reproducing the Gibson Les Paul Classic. There's some slight differences here. The Epiphone is a few millimeters thinner than the Gibson, or at least this one here. The Gibson is definitely heavier. That could just be the older stock of wood that's being used. There's no exact science on weight in woods. There's always going to be slight differences. But this is definitely a lot heavier than this one here, even though both of these are non-weight relieved. So we do have the slab of mahogany on both of these with a carved maple top. We have binding on the front and the back. Both have bound ebony fretboards with the block inlays. The neck here, both of these are set mahogany necks. The Epiphone has a slim taper neck, whereas the Gibson has the medium C neck, which is definitely a little thicker than the slim taper, and all personal preference when it comes to necks, but I really find medium C works a little better than the slim taper neck. Looking at the headstock here, the headstock is bound as well on both. We have the inlaid Gibson logo with the diamond logo and inlaid Epiphone logo with the inlaid diamond logo. You'll notice that there's a difference in color here. For the inlays, this is, I guess, a little more expensive, and what you do generally find on custom shops, although the Gibson Les Paul Custom, the generic one, has the same color as the Epiphone. Looking at tuners here, you would actually find the same tuners that are on the Epiphone on the Gibson. I have installed Grover Roto Grips rather than the Grover Rotomatics here, and they do have the keystone buttons just because I prefer the look of that, and I've installed these myself. Originally they came with the same tuners as these, however they were black because, well, this was originally a red and black color scheme here. It had EMG 81 and 85 pickups hardwired from the factory. Now that we've talked about pickups here a little, the Epiphone has fantastic pickups in it. They have the Epiphone Pro Bucker 3 in the bridge and Pro Bucker 2 in the neck. They're more vintage style, so they're less hot. I have installed a little hotter pickups here in the Gibson Les Paul Custom, just because I'm not a big fan of EMG anymore, or active pickups for that matter. I installed the Gibson 500T, which is a very hot pickup in the bridge, and then the 496R in the neck. Both of these are hand wired with CTS pots. However, this particular Epiphone Les Paul Custom, for some reason, the volume on the neck pickup only goes to about halfway and it will not turn off. And as far as bridges, both have the Tune-O-Matic with a stop bar. The Epiphone has the Epiphone lock tone bridge. So that one there on the entry-level models, if you adjust them, they start to buzz, and they'll buzz forever. However, that's not the case here with the Epiphone. And the Gibson that I have here, I have a Nashville-style Tune-O-Matic with a stop bar installed. That's really what you want to talk about spec-wise, because the Epiphone has a Graphtec Newbone nut, whereas I have no idea what nut is on the Gibson here. It's definitely a little odd, but it works extremely well. Both of these play absolutely fantastic. They're very well balanced when they sit in your lap. They're very well balanced when you're standing up. Of course, they are non-weight relieved, so you might want to, do some, squats or something like that to help your back. If you do have that feeling, or you prefer lighter guitars, because that's not what you're going to get here. And of course, being non-weight relieved, you do feel a little more when you're playing, especially when you're playing leads. It just feels a little more solid. Whereas if there's a satin finish, or if it's a weight relieved guitar, you'd feel a little more in the body because it's a little more resonant. So there's a little more low end to it. That's not the case with these. They're a little more present guitar when you're playing, but you still do really feel the vibrations when you're plucking on them strings. But that's all I really do have to say about this comparison here. I had a lot of fun playing these just because I love this guitar, and I think this is a fantastic choice for an Epiphone guitar. And I highly recommend it if you are after a Les Paul Custom and you really can't afford this. My only problem is this is make me want to buy another one of these, this time in ebony, because that's what I wanted when I was like 14. I was flipping through them Epiphone catalogs. Wish me luck on that. Thanks for watching.